Hey guys, I'm here. Let's get technical. A couple days ago, I was in a filmmaking seminar, which was described to me as a crash course in filmmaking. All the basics you need to know about filmmaking in just 50 minutes. And in the seminar, we of course talked about shots, and when the guy hosting the seminar got to wide shots, he said, wide shots are used to show a lot of things. And then he just kinda left it like that. And this kind of annoyed me, because the best wide shots aren't used to show my feet or show a lot of people or just show things. They're used to convey emotion. And to see a prime example of this, we can look towards the Twilight Zone's pilot episode, Where Is Everybody? But first, let's lay down the technical definitions of some of the shots we'll see. A wide shot shows an entire person from head to toe, a medium shot is from the head to the waist, and a close-up shot is zoomed in close to the head. A Dutch tilt is a shot at a weird angle, and it should be used to convey a sense of confusion or daze. Also, in terms of shots that capture a lot of things, there are also establishing shots and aerial shots, but those don't specifically have to do with people, and they don't really show up in what we're going to be talking about today, so they aren't really our concern.
This is the dimension of imagination. It is an area which we call the Twilight Zone.
The Twilight Zone is a sci-fi anthology which aired from 1959 to 1964. The show, created by phenomenal screenwriter Rod Serling, was and is a brilliant commentary on society and human nature. In the infamous pilot episode, Where Is Everybody?, Mike Ferris, the protagonist, is walking around this fictional town, which seems to be completely empty. Side note here, about a year ago now, I actually had the opportunity to be in that town on that set in Universal Studios Hollywood. It was an amazing experience, I really loved it, and fun fact, it's actually the same set used in the Back to the Future movies. Anywho, back to the Twilight Zone episode. It gets trippier and trippier until, spoiler alert, it turns out he isn't actually in a city with no people, but has been in a 5x5 foot box for 2.5 weeks all by himself, simulating a trip to the moon. Keep in mind, this was released in 1959. Wide shots can portray a lot of different emotions, but I think the most obvious and frankly most notable emotion a wide shot can portray is just how alone we are in this world. I mean, don't these shots from Star Wars The Force Awakens just make you feel small and alone? And the Twilight Zone episode we'll examine today is one of the best times to use a device like this. The plot is literally, why aren't there any people here? There are a couple different ways the Twilight Zone uses wide shots to convey loneliness in this episode. As I walk through the episode, let's examine them. The episode opens with Mike going to a cafe, which he soon finds out is empty. He monologues for a bit and then turns to leave. Notice that there are very few actual wide shots in this entire scene. You either see medium, close-up, or point of view shots. The moment he leaves the cafe at the 3.5 minute mark is when we see our first wide shot. It's also the first time Mark comes to be sort of suspicious of his environment. I mean, it's a little weird that no one is in a supposedly open cafe, but Mark didn't automatically assume the entire town is gone, and you probably wouldn't either. As the camera gets in position to show Mark and the tree, he realizes how alone he really is. This is reflected in the wide shot. Heck, a quarter of the screen is literally nothing. We also see shots like this here, where he's exploring an empty store.
Anybody here? Hey! Hey!
Here, where he's walking through an empty police station, and here, where he's talking to himself in an ice cream shop. All of these wide shots make the viewer feel just as alone as he does. Mark continues to the town, where more wide shots are used as he continues to realize how alone he really is. Suddenly, he sees a person in a truck.
Miss, over here! Look, I wonder if you could do me a favor. It's the craziest thing, but I've looked and I haven't seen anybody around. Maybe they're all asleep or something, but... well, literally, there hasn't been a soul.
And at this point, I think it's important to note something. You'll see throughout the entire episode that not only do wide shots show loneliness, but also when Mark thinks he sees someone, the wide shots disappear. He stops feeling lonely, so the camera wants to make the viewer stop feeling lonely. We also see a shot like this later in the episode when he hears a phone ring. Or, once again, even later in the episode, when he hears the chiming of the bells. In both of these scenes, he starts out in a wide shot, but once he thinks he's not alone, he gets significantly closer to the camera. Back to Mark and the girl in the car. The camera remains close until he figures out that there actually is no person in the truck, and it's just a mannequin. At this point, some really interesting things with the camera happens. Mark squats down next to the mannequin and continues to act like the mannequin is another person.
I'm terribly sorry, madam. I can assure you that at no time did I mean to be so upsetting. As a matter of fact, I've always had kind of a secret yen for the quiet type.
Notice where the camera is here. It's technically a wide shot, I mean his head and his feet are in frame, but it's not the most traditional wide shot, it's pretty zoomed in. I mean, which to you seems like more of a wide shot, this one or the one I showed you earlier from The Force Awakens? They're both technically wide shots, but one just seems and is wider. We also see a shot like this when he's playing tic-tac-toe. He knows there's no one there, but he tries to put that to the back of his mind as he plays a one-player game of tic-tac-toe.
Air Force! I'm in the Air Force! I'm in the Air Force! Hey, I'm in the Air Force! I'm in the Air Force! Hey, everybody, I'm in the Air Force!
Later in the episode, Mark finds himself in a theater which is playing a movie. He's running around trying to figure out who's controlling it. Mark then proceeds to run it down the stairs, resulting in possibly the coolest shot ever. That's so awesome, right? French the llama, I love it. Anywho, this is an important point when it comes to examining camera angles. Remember earlier when I was defining all those different shots and I mentioned the Dutch tilt? You know, the shot that's supposed to represent disorientation? Well, from this point on, from the point when he slams into the mirror, there are no more wide shots and just Dutch tilts. Even the shot right after he slams into the mirror, boom, Dutch tilt. Once again, here's the Dutch tilt. And again here. And here. And those were all shots that would be wide shots if they were just made straight. And because of that, the viewer not only feels alone because of the wide shot, but also disillusioned because of the Dutch tilt. And this lines up perfectly with what Mark is feeling. Then we flash to reality, we find out where he really is, and the episode is over. While I think this is a cool example of properly using wide shots to convey emotion, it's important to note that this isn't the only example. In the Office Season 7 episode, Goodbye Michael, a wide shot is used to show joy, happiness, and love. In the Parks and Rec Season 1 episode, Rock Show, a wide shot is used to show anticipation and hope. In this Wes Anderson short, a wide shot is used to show the happiness of Christmas and the holiday season. Great emotional wide shots are everywhere, and they are so impactful. But if you want to create an engaging video that pushes the medium to its fullest potential, don't go into it thinking that wide shots are just used to show stuff. Use them to make the viewer feel. Thanks for watching. DFTBA, and explore on. 2017! Oh my god, it's 2017! Whoa! And not only is that a thing, but also 10,000 subscribers! French the man. Oh, when I started this project a little over 3 years ago, I never thought I could share ideas with so many wonderful people. You guys are truly amazing. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much. I can never put into words exactly how much I am grateful, but the closest I can come is just thank you. Thank you, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Woo! Actually, now we're over 11,500, which is just uncomprehendable. This is... see you next time, guys.